name of God, the beneficent, the merciful, we bear witnesses for one God to whom praise is due forever. Thank you for your presence and thank you for being here. We have come here today collectively as activists and as a young man here who was the victim of this atrocious behavior and deadly conduct of this Jersey Village Police deputy who did to this young man what no cop in law enforcement should be allowed to do to any citizen. This young man was doing the right thing, violating no laws. December 21st of 2022, this young man was pulled over by this Jersey Village Police Department, and one of their deputies, his behavior was so reckless, his conduct was so reckless, we thank God that this young man is still alive. When you watch the video of this deputy's conduct warrants the district attorney's office, the public integrity division, filing aggravated assault charges with a deadly weapon on this particular deputy. What he did to this young man, when you watch that video, was absolutely unnecessary. His aggressive behavior toward this young man was absolutely unnecessary. They pulled this young man over in a traffic stop for a tail light. Once again, he was pulled over because of a quote-unquote defective tail light. When the young man questioned them about what was the reason why they pulled him over, what was their probable cause, those deputies went absolutely on a whole nother level from 0 to 100 in using profanity to address this young man, pulling out tasers, pulling out pepper spray to pepper spray this young man. The young man was compliant. Not one time did this young man not comply. Not one time did this young man use aggressive language. Not one time did this young man use profanity. Not one time did this young man insult them. This young man is maybe 120 pounds, soaking wet. But when you watch the conduct of these deputies, you will see they had it in their heart to kill this young man if he made one simple move that they could justify taking his life. That Jersey Village police deputy should never be allowed to carry a gun again. For that man one day will kill somebody if he's not stopped by law enforcement officials within Harris County and the DA's office. That cop is a trigger-happy cop, and when you listen to his language on that video, he wanted to kill this young man. You hear the cop say, "We'll pepper spray your ass." And the young man just sitting there, hands visible, not resisting. The young man complies, gets out of the car. You see the deputy run around the car, pull out his gun, and says to it, pointed to the young man's head, pointing to his head, saying these words, "I will motherfucking kill you, you stupid motherfucker." Yes, I'm using his language, because that's what the deputy used to address this young man. This young man was not being aggressive. This young man does not have a criminal history to where they saw his history and they were scared that he may be armed and dangerous. None of that existed. This young brother was coming home on his lunch break in his work uniform. I'm going to say that again. He wasn't running from somebody's house. This wasn't a high-speed chase. This wasn't a resistant arrest call. He wasn't evading them. He was compliant. Coming home from work with groceries in the car on his lunch break, and he was treated like that. We thank God that this young man is still alive. Tell what happened to you that day, young brother.
Yeah, so I was on the way home to go eat a quick 30-minute lunch break. I was pulled over, and the reason he pulled me over was false because I proved that, and it just went all bad. He pulled me out the car. He pulled me out the car, told me to put my hands up. I put my hands up. They hit me, put me in a full Nelson. The officer ran around the car, put the gun to my head, said, "I'll kill you." Then after that, it went all bad. They threw me on the ground. My knees scarred up, had me in a cop car, ran through my car, vandalized it, didn't find nothing. It was just all unnecessary, all unnecessary.
And at the end of that, all he got was a ticket for a deflective tail light. All of that put him in a full Nelson when he's compliant. He's not being resisting. He's not resisting. He's not being compliant to their commands. Put him in a full Nelson, then throw him to the ground. And all you get a man is a ticket for a defective tail light that when he went to court, the judge dismissed the ticket on the spot. And all that putting a gun to this man's head and telling this young brother on his lunch break, "I will kill you. Motherfucker, I will kill you, you stupid MF." This is what they were saying to this young brother. For what? What did he do? He was compliant. But that's the problem with white officers who encounter young African-American males. They automatically believe that we are a threat, and they have to use such conduct and such force to deal with us. Go ahead, Doc.
Dr. Candice Matthews, the National Minister of Politics for the New Black Panther Nation. That video was a trigger warning. That video triggered what happened to Ahmaud Arbery. That video triggered what happened to Trayvon Nichols. That video, Tyree Nichols. That video triggered what happened to Trayvon Martin. Okay? This young man's civil rights was violated. It was a miscarriage in civil rights as to what happened to this young man here. And like Brother Quanell said, we are actually relieved that he's still here. Because one, this is what happens when you recycle dirty cops. And these are the same dirty cops that are white supremacists that hides behind a badge. This is what you see. This is why the importance of the George Floyd Act is very important. This is why you need to do away with qualified immunity. This is why you need to have in place when an officer see another officer that's on duty with them doing something out of pocket, they need to do something and say something. Because if you don't, then it makes you complicit. And I'm just gonna be clear. Every last one of those officers that was there doing this illegal traffic stop all need to be fired. Because you knew what that man did was out of pocket, against policy, and it was illegal. Absolutely. So we're here today because we're standing in solidarity with our brother. We're here today because we smell a rat in the sewage of corruption. And that means we're going to flush you out. Thank you.
We will now we'll take your questions.
Since that day, what has been going through your mind, and how have you been trying to deal with the situation?
It's like I just hear him saying, "I'll kill you." Like, I didn't do that. I was on lunch break, and the dude said he'll kill me. I got out the car. It's two big dudes. All he's want to say is, "I'll kill you." Like, "I'll kill you, stupid MFer." Like, what did I do to him? I ain't do nothing to him. It's just messed up. Like, that keep playing in my head. "I'll kill you." Like,
were you cooperating 100%?
I was cooperating. He had everything. He had all my information and everything.
And we want everybody to know, all you police-loving, excuse-making for corrupt cops people, let's be crystal clear. We love good cops too. We love good police too.
Yep.
But I'm speaking to those who want to make excusive behavior for cops who should not be law enforcement officers allowed to wear the badge with that type of conduct and behavior. You go watch that video. This young man was absolutely compliant. He was non-aggressive. And you watch this cop exhibit the behavior of a criminal. That cop should be charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And we want cops like that to know, we didn't come to lighten up, we're gonna make you tighten up. This has to stop. Because another young African-American male will die at the hands of cops like this if they're allowed to remain on law enforcement. And let me be clear. We love good cops.
Yes, we do.
We advocate and uplift good cops who put their life on the line to do the right thing for the citizens of their county and their city. But when you got a cop like this one, watch the video. This ain't nothing but a damn fool with a uniform on with a badge.
Well, he finna get flushed out.
With a gun that's allowed to walk around and stop innocent citizens. This young boy, he don't weigh 120 pounds with bricks in his pocket.
Traumatized.
And they put this boy in a full Nelson and put him to the ground.
Over a traffic stop.
That just goes to show you how these white police officers, a lot of them, view any African-American male, period. Any more questions?
Just for the timeline, you were being corrupted, you handed over like your license or whatever while you were in the car.
Yes, sir.
They told you to get out.
Yes, sir.
You asked, why do I need to get out?
Yeah.
I've been compliant so far.
And I asked for a supervisor. He wouldn't give me the supervisor. He lied to me and said he was the supervisor. He wouldn't even call the supervisor for me. Like, I knew he was something after that. So.
And then they tore his car up When they took him out the car
They went through
for
my hood.
40 minutes, young man, no traffic warrants, no warrants for his arrest, valid vehicle registration and insurance, valid driver's license, ain't driving suspended.
Legit.
They kept the man in the back of the car 45 minutes, and they tore this young man's car completely apart, even went under the hood. Then took the groceries and put them on the ground. Spilling the man's groceries on the ground. All for a traffic stop for a quote-unquote defective tail light, to where on the first day it go to court, the judge kicked that BS out of court. And then come to find out, I'm gonna tell you how cold-blooded they are. When you watch the body cam, they say we stop you for a deflective tail light. The young man says, well, test the tail light. My light not defective. They test it. It's on body cam. They test it. The tail lights work. You hear the cops say, well, we can find something to give you a ticket for. They walk around the car a few times, then come back and write him a ticket for window tint. For window tint. And that ticket was dismissed on the spot. Those are not the kind of police officers that we need in Houston, Harris County.
Absolutely not.
The videos from body cam or someone was filming?
Body cam.
No, this body cam, we requested this video footage. This wasn't cell phone. We made them come off their footage. Took a while, but the footage was released. And that's what we've given you today.
What response
How long
have you
ago
gotten
was this incident?
December 22nd, 2022.
What response have you gotten from her?
Last week. Sir?
What response have you gotten from the chief and from the officials here?
We haven't gotten any response from them yet, but they're very aware of the conduct. They're very aware of what happened. But this is why the district attorney's office, the public integrity division, got to step in and supersede lawless police departments like this one that tries to cover and protect bad cops.
What are you asking for?
His immediate termination, and we're asking that he be indicted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, because that's the same charge any other citizen in Harris County would have received if that same conduct on video was presented to law enforcement of them. Any other citizen would have been charged with those exact charges. And I don't care if you have a police uniform on or not, you wear a badge. You are not above the law.
And you know what else too? And we needed to move, and we need this to move swiftly. Because look what they did with the Tyree Nichols case. They didn't waste no time to indict those African American officers. So now that we have a white officer, so now you want to backpedal and go through processes. No, we're going to follow this to the letter because you have footage. You know exactly what has happened to this young man. We need you to move swiftly, period.
How many officers were involved?
2.
You asked for both of them to be fired?
Yes.
Yep.
And because the other officer was
Did I intervene?
complicit in the behavior, complicit in the fabricated ticket writing that they gave this young man, the citation, he was complicit in not arresting his fellow officer for criminal conduct and criminal behavior that was absolutely not necessary.
What did he do? Did he sit there and, like, what did he do? Did he sit there and watch? Did he say anything? Or just...
He watched, talked back and forth with the other cop, helped tear the car up, helped search the car and destroy the man's groceries and put everything on the ground, helped make up a lie, helped make up a lie
And put him in the
to
full Nelson.
justify the ticket. And he was one of those ones who ran behind the young man and put him in the full Nelson. And this young fella, you know, I'm sure he'll lift weight soon, but this boy ain't 120 pounds with bricks in his pocket. You put this little bitty brother in a full Nelson, you're a bunch of coward, punctified cops. This boy wasn't resisting. He had no weapons. He was compliant, and you're going to put him in a full Nelson. I bet you wouldn't put a real brother in a full Nelson if you had that damn uniform on.
And don't know, baby,
Any
he
more
got
questions?
brothers and sisters.
Any
He
more
got
questions?
brothers and
What's
sisters.
next?
We've already told you what's next. We're demanding that the DA's office, the Public Integrity Division, step in and get rid of this cop immediately, and that he be terminated from the force. That's what we're demanding. Now it's up to them to do the right thing.
And I plan to take legal action against this woman?
Don't want to speak about that any further than this.
Just know he got brothers and sisters that got his back. And anybody else we want to put to any one of these dirty cops out here. You go around here messing with our people, I guarantee you, we coming. Period.
And I was going to ask, what's your message to the members of the community here and people who may have gone through something similar, but it didn't get out?
We want to encourage those, if you get in, and this is important, if you get into a situation with law enforcement in a traffic stop, please, no matter what, comply. If you get into a confrontation with law enforcement in a traffic stop, please comply. Comply. Do not allow them to take your behavior and make it a justifiable excuse to take your life. Leave that scene. Go and file your IAD complaint against those officers or officer. Get a copy of your complaint, then reach out to the right people for assistance and help. Don't let them trick you with the mousetrap that they violate your human, civil, and constitutional rights and get you to become emotional on the scene so they can justify taking your life. For those who have gone through that, do exactly what this young man did, because you can see right now he is the winner in the long-term outcome.
You think you were racially profiled?
Yes. Yes.
You live in Jersey Village?
Yes.
You do.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presence. That concludes our press conference. Thank you.